What's up, dudes and dudes? Here now. My name is Seth, and we are back again for more Trove unboxing video. And today I thought, hey, why not? Let's actually open all of the adventure chests that I actually have. There's not really any reason to. The adventure chests, honestly, like the system that they have in the game right now is really bad. So if you don't know, folks, especially console players, but a million years ago they ended up actually adding these adventure boxes monthly. So there would be a new adventure chest drop that would end up showing up each month, and then that would be the only exclusive adventure box that you would see everywhere. Now, for a very long time, people ended up complaining about that, saying, why don't you just make it so that every adventure box spawns in every biome? They did that, which was great, but unfortunately, you know, one of the big things that they like to do with most of the processes, like most of the gameplay things as far as development is concerned, is I like to say one step forward, two steps back. They've been getting a lot better, don't get me wrong. I still love this game, and the recent updates that they've had coming out are absolutely awesome, but this was back in the day where it was like, okay, let's make all of the adventure chests spawn in every biome, but we're going to make the drop rates of those adventure chests extremely uncommon, and on top of the fact that the item out of these is going to be uncommon because they're trying to still sell the golden keys that you can end up buying out of the cash shop, right? So obviously, we can see right here that the Snowfest mystery boxes, for some reason, are just the most common. I don't know why that is exactly. And then the Eggster ones seem to be, at least for me anyways, the least common. But let's just get right into it. Wish me luck. Hit that like button. I would appreciate it. And hopefully we can end up getting something worthwhile out of this. I would like to see at least one mount ended up gotten, because that's the thing is, most of all, I like to think in terms of new players. And for new players, getting these, getting these random adventure boxes in such like short supply as well, because these boxes that we've got right here, this is months worth of grinding, and I've only got like maybe 20 of a couple of them, 15 of some more of them, and we're getting 10 Glim and like 5 Flux out of them, 12 Flux, 5 Eyes of Cthulhu here, which, like, that's the thing. I don't mean to sound like I'm, you know, picking on the game or, you know, or anything like that. Most of all, it's a open criticism that I would say is one of the biggest problems that I find with this game, and I love this game. I've been playing it for years. I'm going to continue playing it for years, but the loot tables need to be readjusted for all of the old gear and old boxes in the game and stuff like that for what the common Trove actually is. So, for example, Eyes of Cthulhu, when the Shadow Tower update ends up coming out, suddenly those are going to be in very short supply because you're going to need like, I think it's like 1,500 of them or something like that, ridiculous, to make the item to randomize your gem stats, which people are going to be spending a lot of eyes, which is good. You know, it gets rid of the eyes that are on the market and everything like that. Okay, sure, but again, it's like they should really take some time to actually look back on these old loot tables and see whether or not they actually need adjusting. So out of those boxes that we just opened right there, we got a whole bunch of, not only just a bunch of penguin allies and stuff, but we got some new hats and stuff like that. That's always okay. Generally speaking, though, I'm not really expecting us to get that much, if anything, out of these. Hopefully at least one. We'll open these Snowfest mystery boxes last. Hopefully we can get at least one mount, then I would be satisfied. But still, like, this is pretty ridiculous, just as far as random number chance is concerned. You know, that's kind of a big detrimental thing. And I know I'm going on a little bit of a rant here, but I thought that if there was any video where I talk about the random number generation in Trove, why not have it for one of the most random number generation videos that I could ever put out, right? So one of the things that I personally don't really like about this game and feel that kind of keeps most players from actually coming back to the game. I'm just looking at my dog because she's doing crazy things instead of laying in her bed like you're supposed to, is the fact that the random number generation just rewards people completely at random. Now, as far as most other games are concerned, like let's take a game like Diablo 3, for example, which I reference very often, even in the Trove series, because of the fact that the game itself does incredibly well-designed and purposeful random loot tables. By that I mean players are going to end up getting rewarded based on how much time and dedication they're actually putting into the game. So one of the things that Diablo does, which I think more developers could learn from, is that after a while, you slowly start to build up this invisible bar, if you will, kind of the same as a karma bar for most of the chests. That will slowly just start to build up more and more and more until eventually it ends up giving you a random legendary drop, because of the fact that they know, the developers know, that being rewarded for your actions is going to incentivize you to continue playing. Now, Trove takes a different approach to this, where they just kind of go for complete random, which is why, honestly speaking, you'll see a lot of your friends end up quitting this game, because they'll, we'll be playing this game and suddenly we see the golden ticket boxes, for example, that came out. They ended up having a random chance of dropping an extremely rare pinata mount that ended up actually making your wings, the lively launcher wings, would actually show on your character while you were on the mount. So in that regard, it was kind of similar to the Light Pegasus or the Dark Pegasus mounts. But the fact is that almost everybody that ended up actually getting that mount was not endgame players like myself or many others. It was all of the new players that don't know what they got. Kind of the same thing as the, sorry, my pig dog was chewing on my back screen, and that's just a big no-no, so I had to stop her because she's a puppy, and I am teaching her all of the values of life. I know, I love you, Jub Jub. Where was I? Diamond Dragon Eggs. That's what I was going to say, where very often you'll see a lot of starting players that end up actually getting the Diamond Dragon Egg out of their first Empowered Gem Box. Now, I'm not against like new players getting items. I'm just saying that if the devs wanted to actually incentivize old players to continue playing this game, and I don't mean old players like myself, like I'm a dinosaur. I've been playing this game for such a long time, I'm never going to quit. I'm talking about those people that are kind of on the fence, where they're like, okay, seriously, I'm not getting anything out of this game, I'm just gonna quit. At that moment, right then and there, just bam, at that moment, if the devs could figure out a way to end up having those players, and that's where it becomes very difficult to actually judge that type of situation. They would have to look at all sorts of statistics that I don't think that Trove actually can handle, because the game engine is actually designed on a very old game engine, right? I'll go into that in a minute, but my point being that if right then and there the game could end up rewarding that player with something good, like let's say a Diamond Dragon Egg or even just a rare mount out of the Chaos Chest or something like that, suddenly, bam, they're sitting there going, oh my goodness gracious, and they're not thinking of quitting anymore. Now, the point that I was trying to say about like Trove and its old engine and stuff like that is, this is just kind of a fun fact that I like to remind people of. Okay, that's the one that we get. That's the rare item. Is that originally Trove wasn't like the CEO or whatever. I don't know if it's the CEO, but the people over at Tryon Worlds, they didn't think that Trove was going to do very well. So they ended up actually making it on a very cheap, very old system and game engine and stuff like that, right? That's kind of why the sound effect system and everything like that, like it's not even MIDI. It's worse than that. Like the sounds in this game are on a whole other level. They're designed on like such an old system. It's insane. And then suddenly they started seeing that this game was becoming Tryon Worlds' most popular game. An open world voxel MMO being their most popular game. No surprise there, guys. I don't mean to criticize them to an insane degree. Most of all, I'm just trying to let you all know about the origin of this game, kind of where it ended up coming from, and being honest about it. Because that's the thing, is I know that people, there's a lot of new people that come to the channel and just go, why is he hating on the game? And it's not that I'm hating on the game, it's just that I'm being honest about where it ended up coming from. Because while Trove has actually been really on the ball lately, don't get me wrong, my opinion of this game has completely changed within this last year. Because they've been developing like crazy, all sorts of new content is coming out. And just generally speaking, they've been doing a really, really good job with player feedback and stuff like that. But rightly so, near the beginning of the game, that was not so. It was a bit of a rough start. So anyways, on to the random number generation, because never mind any of that, just because I'm noticing, look at this. Like, this is ridiculous. We haven't gotten like anything worthwhile out of over 500 adventure boxes. Like, seriously, speaking of rewarding players, now that said, you know, I'm not saying that they should kind of overhaul the adventure boxes, because honestly speaking, outside of mastery farming, there's not really much of a reason to actually even get any of these adventure boxes. And the funny thing is that the adventure boxes actually sell on the player market for a lot more than any of the mounts that you would end up actually getting out of them, which is crazy when you think about it. Like, really, it doesn't make sense. I bit my tongue. A lot of these resources, though, you know, like the chestnuts and stuff like that, those are okay because you kind of need them, which I guess in that regard, it's good that these boxes are a little bit more common, because I'm pretty sure they're a crafting recipe or a crafting component for, is it for one of the dragons? I'll double check it, man. Okay, that's just gross. Like, seriously, I don't like the bouncing mounts, I'm sorry. That one's actually, to be fair, is one of my favorite bouncing mounts. Okay, I want to take a little peek here. Because isn't the Joyous Dragon? Oh, wait, he's at the Wheel of Seasons or something like that, right? Do we have a Wheel of Seasons? Yes, we do. Okay, let's go to the winter. What? Okay. Wait, where is it? Oh, I'm a scrub. It's actually right here. But yeah, so this is the thing that ends up costing chestnuts. That is what I thought. I knew that it was that dragon. I just didn't want to say it and look like a fool, which is perfectly fine anyways. You know, I often say things like wrong in videos. That's the funny thing too. Not that I've like noticed it recently or anything. This is just kind of a fun fact if you're just starting out with YouTube, is you will notice that eventually it'll get to the point, like, you might end up watching one of your favorite YouTubers, and I'm not saying me. I'm not saying I have to be your favorite, but you might be watching one of your favorite YouTubers and you'll notice that, let's say they're playing like Terraria and they end up missing like a really essential ore, or they say a word and it's actually the complete opposite of what they actually meant to say in the sentence, but you still know what they said. That's actually because commentating is very different than talking. Now, there are some people that are just very natural to commentary. They can make it seem like they're just actually having a conversation with the audience. And I'd like to think that I'm pretty good as far as my commentary is concerned. You know, for the most part, I like to make lots of jokes and stuff like that. And that's why I use the face cam for most of that. But my point being is that it's very different than just talking. And that said as well, I'd like to consider myself good at it, but only because I've been doing it for years, you know? Because my commentary in my older videos, like, look at my older Trove videos. It's poop. Like, it's just, you know, and then there was a point where it was just complete random sentences. Okay, so we got a whole bunch of hats and stuff like that that'll periodically end up dropping into the club chest. And then other than that, we got a bunch of recipes that I can save for the future if there's ever anything I need out of them. I don't know, and then just a couple different, like, the Snug Snowman and some Mag Riders. Honestly, who cares? But in any case, folks, I wasn't really expecting anything out of that. It would have been nice if I could have gotten something out of it, but whatever, that's okay. Most of all, today, like I said, I just wanted to kind of talk about the limitations of the game system and things, like as far as the drop rates are concerned, the parts that I personally don't like about it. And I want to make a point of that. My personal opinion. That is all that this is. So take that as you will. You don't have to agree with it, you know, and in a lot of ways, I'm not even saying that it needs to be anything that needs to change or anything like that. This is just my personal opinion, but I'm just a random guy that plays this game. I'm not a game developer, so what do I know? In any case, thanks for watching, folks. Very much appreciate it. Don't forget to like, share, favorite, and subscribe for more daily content. Sign on, stay epic, everybody.